Matthew did make the most of every day that he was here. I mean, fishing was one of his big things. He had a group of guys that they would go pond hopping, called the Fishy Squad. When he got into high school, fishing was like probably his favorite pastime.
I can remember a funny story. The first day of summer, boys came over and they were gonna go fishing out back. And you really weren't supposed to be fishing at that pond. Apparently the ranger had caught them fishing and he said, hey, you guys can't fish here. And he said, I need to get all your names. Matthew's buddies all gave him aliases and Matthew gave him his real name. And I can remember saying, well, what'd you do that for? Now if you go back, he's gonna really know it was you. But it was just...
You always did the right thing.
That was just kind of Matthew, yeah. He wasn't one to be alone. He liked to be around people. He spent a ton of time with us and certainly his friends were always around as well. He just made you feel good. It was more about how he made you feel that really made him special. I was scheduled to head out of town on a trip. Ann had already went to work to the hospital.
I just woke up one morning and something just wasn't right. I kind of just, I don't know. I just was like, I tapped him and I was like, Matthew, and there was just nothing.
All of a sudden, Nate came into my room and he made a comment that, you know, Matthew wouldn't get up. And I said, well, that's fine, there's no school. And then within seconds, I heard Cameron, our daughter, yell that Matthew wasn't breathing. And so
there was just so much happening. But the biggest thing I remember is us sitting in this living room and we were just praying that he would be all right. And I remember when we got the call saying we needed to go to the hospital because he had passed, and we just, I mean, I didn't know what to think.
Yeah, I don't even know, we just got in the car and we were just like, what is happening right now?
The outcome was just so tragic at the time, and we, honestly, I feel like it was a really bad dream.
We had a friend of ours who's a cardiologist at Emory, and he said, you've got to take the kids in and get their heart screened. And it was a matter of minutes that Nate was on the ECG machine, a 12-lead ECG, and I think they stopped and said, you know, yeah, we can see a problem here.
I was nervous. I was definitely nervous. I think we all were, especially with what had just happened, but immediately it just felt like another thing.
Presumed long QT syndrome, which is an electrical abnormality in the conduction system of the heart, really based on Nate's diagnosis and then my diagnosis.
So it is presumed, but we're clinically diagnosed with both Ann and Nate with long QT, so it would make sense. It's a fairly rare thing that it would make sense that would be what Matthew died from as well. We can remember coming back home with Nate after that diagnosis, and we start to research it, and we know that we need an action plan. And AED is critical in that action plan, to have one in the house in the event it happened again, and we didn't have it. So we went really quickly to get one, and we didn't worry about insurance and cost or anything like that, right? We were just gonna go get it. What do people do who don't have, you know, $1,500 waiting for something to come up like this, and they need it in their home? So
essentially, an AED can cost anywhere between $800 up to, you know,
$3,000, $4,000.
Yeah. Some of these families have had an event and they've got a huge hospital bill and they're coming out and now they need this, you know, expensive device.
There is a network of folks who experience this, and there's other organizations as well. LifeSure helps really kind of advance and continue to kind of push on these insurance companies for coverage. They do get to a point where they just get simply a denial. And at that point, they refer patients to us as well, and then we'll fund the AED and through the foundation. We want literally patients, SADS patients, to understand that there is a wonderful life ahead of them. And what does that look like? It's more holistic than just having an AED. That led us into starting to understand the statistics a little bit better and pivoting harder into the research. So what if we could find technologies that would enable SADS patients to be diagnosed? The Mayo Clinic has done great work on this, and they published something at the end of last year around smartphone technology. And what that does is it allows potential SADS patients to find out really quickly through the push of a button on their phone that they've got an abnormality that they need to seek further attention on. That's groundbreaking stuff. And if we can help push that type of research through Lovin Every Day and other organizations as we work with them, that's a home run.
Success is helping people navigate to the next step, continuing to provide the resources we do to families in honor of Matthew.
We come at it from a place of optimism, and we do that starting from a place of tragedy. But it's important to know that these things they're treatable. You can go live a full, energized, complete life if we can get in front of it and know that you have it. For every dollar that you donate, 90 cents of the dollar will go to fund one of three programs for us. The first one is research. We've talked a lot about the importance of that and the necessity to really drive against technology and use that as our friend in helping diagnose and create a plan for folks. The second thing that your dollars will help support is the continued education and awareness around SADS conditions. And then the third thing is specifically against AEDs to families and community groups who have a need to be able to satisfy that.
You know, AEDs are expensive, and everyone should have one in a home because you never know what can happen and it can save a life.
Being able to have that safety net almost, I think everyone deserves to have that. So I'm really glad that we're able to give those AEDs to people that can't afford them.